Hello.
We're back again.
Okay, I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Do you think that we did a better job not interrupting each other?
I hope we did. Hopefully the people will let us know.
Let us know.
Did we do better with not interrupting each other? Well, I guess not interrupting each other, but like
Yeah.
what do you call it?
Active listening?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Active listening.
Please
Did
let
we
us
do
know.
better? Hopefully we did. So how was your week?
My week was busy. What day is it
Yes.
today? Oh, we're recording this on a Tuesday?
Yeah, we never record on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
But
we typically don't.
and yeah, it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. It feels like it's Friday, but it's fine. It's Tuesday at like 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Overall, my week last week was good.
Yeah.
It was my second week post-marathon. I don't know if I mentioned this
Uh-huh.
in the last episode, but my knee like started hurting around mile like 16, 17. And so I'm trying to like ease back into running. It is such a weird feeling going from running like dozens of miles a week to like not even 10.
But you got to admit, it feels a little good.
I have been sleeping in,
I
but
was about to say.
okay.
You got to like, at least not having that much pressure has got to feel somewhat good.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like there's no pressure to hit certain mileage points. Like
Yeah.
I'll go out and just kind of like play it by ear and just see how I feel. So that has been really nice. Daylight savings is probably
Yes.
part of why I'm sleeping in a little bit. But
I was blissfully unaware when I woke up Sunday morning that it was daylight savings. And I was like, why is it dark outside? And my children are going to be feral. And they were.
yeah,
This week has been really rough on them.
it was so funny. I think it was Saturday night. I said to Logan, I'm like, why do we tell people to make sure they set their clocks back? Like it's automatic
That's
on the
done for
iPhone.
us now.
Yeah. And he was like, Abby, there are some people that still use an alarm clock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But we are excited about it being lighter,
Yes,
longer.
We are. And it feels so warm. Actually, coming in here today, I was like, I want to just record outside.
I wish we could. It feels so good outside.
feels so good.
But I will say, typically when it comes to this type of weather, North Carolina will tease you where they'll only give you like 1 or 2 days in like a 10-day span. But this weather's sticking around.
Okay.
So we'll
I'm
have
glad.
some more days to
My
enjoy
first North Carolina spring.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh, there's also something else I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Do you like acai bowls?
Yeah.
You got to go to Palm Berries.
Okay. You have an addiction right now?
It's so good.
Okay.
Okay, so the first time we went in there, if anyone lives in the Raleigh area, I do know they're actually like they're popped up all over
Uh-huh.
in like North Carolina. I'm not sure if
Mhm.
they're national or whatever.
Mhm.
But we met the owner of that
Mhm.
one. Her name is Jessica.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jessica. She's not listening to this. But just in case you are, she was talking to us about how they get their fruit imported every single day. It's delivered fresh.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like such a textures person too.
Yeah.
And the size of the fruit is cut so small
Oh, we love
that it's like the perfect amount in every bite.
Not where you're like trying to like feel like you're going to choke while you're chewing.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is we're going to record ourselves going to Palm Berries.
Hey, I am so down for an
and
acai
we'll
bowl
post a
anytime.
little video
Anytime.
about it.
Little promo, help them out, you know.
Yes, it is
We have
really, really
so many
good.
followers.
Yeah.
So what was I? Oh, I was going to say something about
Oh yeah.
that,
How was
though.
your week though?
Oh yeah, it was good. What I was going to say, is it in downtown Raleigh?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know it was in downtown.
It's right next to the Sweat House.
Oh, of course it is.
Have you been to the Sweat House?
Yeah.
Y'all, the Sweat House.
Sweat House.
Cold plunge and sauna contrast
I almost
therapy.
died. Like, I think I almost died.
Oh, please.
I'm not kidding. I've given birth and that was up there.
Really?
I'm not like,
You don't like cold?
well, I felt like my bones were they were just in so much pain.
Yeah. You know where it hurts me the most is
What?
in my feet.
Really?
Yeah. My feet start to like
Yeah.
throb.
Yeah.
But how long did you last in there?
So after I got in there, I made it a whole 5 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
And Drew did the same. Once we both got in there, we made it a whole 5 minutes. But I actually made myself start my timer over
Mhm.
because I like got in for a minute and gave myself like 30 seconds and got out, and then I got back in and then eased myself back in and then made it 5 minutes. But I was like, I'm dying.
Okay, so you know what I like to do?
Yeah.
I'll go in. I do 15 minutes in the sauna.
Yeah.
4 minutes in the cold plunge. 15 minutes in the sauna. 4 minutes in the cold plunge. And then I'll do like 10 in the sauna. And then I'll end with like 3 in the cold plunge. And then I do the shower. Like the vitamin C shower.
Like it feels so nice.
Yeah.
Like I understand like that awake feeling that people are drawn to. Oh, but it hurts.
It does hurt. Do you follow Lindsay Arnold?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see her video of her? I think she's training for a half marathon right now, but she does like the morning in her life running 6 miles. It popped up today on my For You page. I follow her, but that's where I saw it. And she gets up, she like goes to put her running clothes on, goes down to her treadmill, goes outside, turns on her infrared sauna, turns on her cold plunge.
The dream, right?
I'm watching this like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
Logan, I need it. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but still like goals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's goals for sure. I would love to have a sauna one day.
Yes, it would be amazing.
Love to have a sauna.
All right, hit us with your week.
Okay, so my week was great. Wait, like when did we record this last? Oh yeah,
Sunday.
So
Was it Sunday?
no, Sunday last week though.
Sunday last week.
So it's been a little over a week.
But about 10 days.
Okay, great. Definitely like little things. Like daylight savings has been really rough for my kids. Sayla literally, she woke me up this morning, or I woke her up this morning and she was so mad. She goes, Mommy, why did you wake me up when it's still dark outside?
Yeah, that is rough.
And I'm like, honey, I know you don't understand, but it's time to get up.
Yeah.
Right now.
Time is time, sweetheart. And it's a ticking.
So get up. So school drop off and stuff has been a little bit more difficult. And what else? Oh, I started a garden. My own garden.
I was going to ask you, what are we planting?
Okay, right now, watermelon. The little sugar baby watermelons.
Okay.
So they're not like massive.
Right.
Rainbow carrots, onion, tomatoes, cilantro. I wanted lavender, the lavender plant.
Tomatoes will be so good.
And bell peppers. That's what I'm starting with.
Yeah.
I have to like reel it back and tell myself not to like run in and get more seeds.
Yeah.
Because I could nerd out about this, but basically it's based on your region where you live to like when you plant. And so right now I have to plant them inside, grow them inside on my windowsill for like the first few weeks. And then you get to take them outside.
Okay.
When the frost is like done. So yeah, doing a little garden.
Love that.
But why am I doing a garden?
Why are you doing a garden?
Because I am obsessed with Meghan Markle's show. In case you didn't know or you haven't seen it, it's amazing. I loved it.
I haven't seen it.
I watched it and I was like, I am me. Me is her. We are the
one.
same.
We are the same.
I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I just need like, she got paid like $100 million to do this show. And literally has her own entire, the very last episode he's in it, has her own entire huge garden with every single piece of produce you can imagine. She just goes out there and picks it when she's like cooking. And, just and a bunch of rich friends. And so love that for her.
Love that for her.
So like minus the money part. Yeah.
You are her.
I wish.
We're looking at royalty.
No.
Well,
I
actually,
wish.
they left the royalty.
They left, but you know what?
You know what? I don't blame them. And I'm going to say something right now. I'm going to drop it piping hot. I do not understand the appeal with the royal family. Like, we don't live there. Why do we care? Why are we so obsessed?
But okay, I do like the royal family.
Why?
I was obsessed with it whenever it all went down.
Yeah.
And I did nerd out when we went to London and I went to the Buckingham Palace and I got to be in where the Queen walked the very steps.
But who gets to determine who they are?
It's like dated back centuries.
And it's just so
into their family.
It's so dated. Do you know what I'm saying?
So dated.
It's just like whatever.
Yeah.
But also too, I think like all of the ins and of it just kind of gives me the ick.
Okay, well,
whatever.
Sarah, our friend Sarah, she's like, I don't like her. She's like, I don't like Meghan. She broke up the royal family. And I'm like, how dare you?
How dare you, Sarah?
Because
just kidding.
No, I know. But her show is like, it's weirdly relaxing and like super peaceful. And anyway, I've already been interested in all of that stuff for a long time. But whenever I watched it, I was like, motivation, Taylor, you can do this.
She was the confirmation you needed to just
build your garden.
Yeah, get the ball rolling.
I started a garden. And I have been cooking and doing all the things all week. So that's been fun. Okay, so speaking of the family drama, okay? I finally had my first TikTok go viral.
No, that she did.
Baby's first TikTok went viral. Not my first TikTok, but you know what I mean. And the funny part about it is watching everybody argue about Megan on my post.
Wait, they're arguing?
You should just go read the comments just for tea. Like, it's just so funny because there's people on there that are like hating on her. Like, why would people watch her show? And then there's people that are like, get out. Like, you don't know anything about her. And then they just like go at it on my post.
It's like,
I'm
hey,
like,
guys, nobody does. Like, let's just calm
I left
down.
it alone a long time ago. I just like go read it. I'm like,
That's
okay.
so funny.
So that's been funny. And yeah, so that's what I did this week.
Yeah.
And now we listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't
Abby
judge.
requested this segment, and I don't know how good I'll be, but I'll try.
You're going to do a great job. I still have to think about what I'm going to say.
I tried. I was like, Abby's
I
going
have
to
a
come
bone
with
to pick
them.
with you,
And
Taylor.
I was like, okay, what?
I have a bone to pick.
What?
What do you think about that's the point? Don't even lie. This is on the record.
Okay, it is on the record. Okay, first off, is this a part of your listen and don't judge? What is this?
No, this is me grilling.
No, this is okay.
I
hope you guys just love our spontaneity today because it's extra spontaneous.
Yes, extra spontaneous.
So if you guys don't know what that's the point is, by the way, it is a podcast that is the podcast, but they have their own brand. That's the point. It's two people, guy and a girl, Kristen and what's his name? I really don't remember right now. I'm not joking. John. And they have their own, like, they just spiel about their life, really. There isn't even a point, which is,
that's the point.
Is that the point?
That's the point. Comment if you listen to That's the Point. And comment also what your favorite thing is about Kristen and John.
Okay. But because I'm a good friend, I've listened to several episodes because not only her, but Bailey, they all like it. Okay. So I've listened to it and it's funny sometimes. And then there's like little things that I just...
Like what?
Share
it with the class. This is so not planned.
This is not planned at all. Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay.
I have to fully realize, listen, you know what? This is spiritual because take the what out of your own eye.
Take the speck out of your own eye before you see the board.
Yes.
Take the board out of your own eye before you point out the speck.
Right. I'm doing that right now. Okay, because I know that like some people probably listen to us and they're just like, wow, okay. You guys like two white girls just yapping away. We get that. Okay. So I realized that that's probably us. But sometimes when I listen to That's the Point, I'm like, I kind of feel like that. Like
what's the point of this?
Yes. Like, what are you
trying to get across?
I feel like at least we definitely like yap in the beginning. Okay. We know that. But I feel like we land the plane eventually. Like we have a point. I mean, we have a topic.
We have a point. I would even say that like, okay, so even before they started the podcast, like John has his like photography business and not Taylor, Kristen she's like a YouTube person and then like grown very like rapidly on social media. And so people are already just like invested in her life. And so I think she's able to just like talk about things in her life and people just care to know it.
That's the thing.
Which is so interesting.
Yes, because she has like, I don't know about on TikTok, but on Instagram, she has like 650,000 followers or something. Yeah, like way over 500,000. And so like Abby's saying, like when you get to that point, you can kind of just do whatever.
You really can.
And people are going to watch it.
And people are going to listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so officially on Instagram, she has 649,000 followers, and her husband Marcus has 741,000.
Which he has more?
Yeah, he popped off on Vine.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so he like gained his whatever.
But that was so long ago, and he kept his following.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. He had like millions on Vine.
All that to say,
Taylor doesn't like them.
And I like them. In fact, you know what?
Do you follow them?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I do follow them both on Instagram.
Okay.
And I bought some of the beeswax candles that she
influenced
posted.
you.
Yes. So, and I even used her link. You're welcome, Kristen.
You're welcome.
Your $2.45.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yes. So I definitely like delve.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to the actual podcast itself, sometimes it leaves me dragging along. Like which one did I listen to? The Christmas like holiday episode or something like that.
Oh, their holiday guide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't make it through the whole thing.
That's
but
okay.
I tried.
That's okay.
I tried.
I love the effort.
And I love her vibe though.
Yeah. She's got a good
cutie
vibe.
vibes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We listen and we don't judge.
I don't even know what I'm about to say.
Are you going to judge?
No. Are you?
Gosh, okay. Do you want to know who gave me this idea? Well, one, I hear it around everywhere.
Yeah,
it's been like a trend.
Right.
But then Kristen and John did it.
Oh. Okay.
They had this is not
also
a podcast about Kristen and John.
No.
Just go listen if you guys want to laugh.
But also Abby, wait, what was I oh my God, what was I gonna say? I just had the most ADD brain burnout ever happen just now.
What just happened?
We're just going to move on because I don't remember what I was going to say.
Moving on.
I'm so ADD, you guys. It was something about that's the point.
Okay.
Anyways, so we listen and we don't judge.
Yes. We listen and we don't judge.
They're like, speaking of point, get to the point.
Yeah, get to the point. Okay, this is how you play.
Yes, yes.
We start out. We listen and we don't judge. Then one person says what you're not gonna judge.
Right.
And then we collectively say together, we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
We listen and we don't judge. I would much rather take a full body, wash my hair, get in the shower at the end of the day than simply wash my face.
Every time?
Every time. I would much rather get in the shower than put my hands in the sink and wash my face.
Oh, Lord.
Taylor, we listen
we don't judge.
And we don't judge.
Okay. Wait, we don't get to delve into these?
That's not how we play the game. If you guys want us to elaborate on the next one, we can.
Okay, there is no judgment there. That's just perks you.
Thank you.
It's very motivating. Okay, we listen and we don't judge. I don't care how hard it is or how much work it is. I just want to make my own almond milk every time. And I know that that's like, you might think, oh, what a big deal. No, do it yourself. Try it. There's people that actually peel the almonds, each almond as well, so that it's creamier.
Do you do that?
I have a couple times. This last time I made it, I did.
Okay.
We listen and we don't judge.
Okay. Oh no. What am I going to do now? It's like when you're thinking, you can't think of them.
Yeah. It's kind of like an ick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband's a pastor.
Yes.
And he sometimes will preach the sermon.
Uh-huh.
It's not often, but he does. And when he does, I do zone out.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
If not.
But maybe you've heard pieces of it before.
True. but it's not an easy thing for me to. It's almost like the closer that I am to the person preaching, the less inclined I'm thinking about what they're saying.
Is that how you feel when I lead worship?
We listen and we don't judge. Okay, speaking of worship, I was listening to this song. It's Holy Spirit Welcome.
Yeah.
Did Drew tell you about this? Oh,
From
gosh, it was so
the
funny.
Bridge, and this is the church we went to.
No. This is a different one.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's different. But I do love that one. Okay.
Okay.
But this one, I was showing Bailey.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this song.
Mm-hmm.
And within like 10 seconds, she goes, Drew's not going to like it. And I was like, why not? And she's like, it's good. It's a good song, she says. And she's like, but he's going to say it just sounds too much like K-Love. And I started laughing because Logan was in the room, and we look at each other. We both start laughing because I heard it on K-Love like 2 days before that.
Oh, okay.
So she was so spot on with like that K-Love criteria, which speaking of K-Love, hey, maybe this is my next one. I love K-Love in the car. I will listen to K-Love above anything else. And my girl, Lori, that is my girl. Me and Logan have a whole personality for Lori.
Oh,
so
God.
we listen and we
like...
don't judge. I love K-Love.
Did they have a jingle? They don't have a jingle anymore. They used to back in the day.
I don't think they have a jingle anymore.
They used to. Oh, God. I can't.
Do you have one?
I don't know how to follow that up. Oh, Drew's going to love that. When Drew's editing this, he's just going to be rolling.
Never mind. I'm trying to be careful with the things that I have a very like non-filter, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Following up.
Gosh, guys, this is really hard. I don't know if I have another one.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
Unless you have one.
Abby, she's just going to hit us with them.
Okay,
until I can think of
so-
another one.
If I run
Yeah.
and I get really sweaty,
Yeah.
I don't wash my hair.
Yeah.
I just blow dry my hair. I blow dry the sweat
Really?
in my hair.
Is it because you shower at night?
I did it today.
Is it? Yeah, but you're wearing a hat.
I do it every day. You're not gonna be able to see my hair. Yeah, I don't wash my hair every day. So
But-
if I sweat and I run,
I don't wash my hair
then
hardly ever.
my
Once a week.
my sweat is being blow dried into my hair.
I love that. You're
No
wearing
judgment?
a hat? No judgment.
Okay. We listen and we don't judge.
You said we don't judge.
hey,
So
we're not here to judge. You're like, I'm not allowed.
I'm not.
Taylor, you've got to have another one.
I'm sure that I do, but when I get put on the spot, it's hard to come up with these things. And then you have good ones, and I'm like sitting here.
How about for you that when you got your food sensitivity thing back and it told you that you couldn't have coffee and now you drink coffee once a day?
Oh,
We listen and we don't judge.
that's right. Listen, we don't judge. I'm sorry. I'm drinking it once a day. I'm trying. Hey, you know what? My nurse practitioner, she said, she's like, start with dairy. Okay.
Yeah.
Start with dairy.
I
She's
would
like,
say,
if it's too hard for you, just start with dairy. I was like, okay.
One step at a time.
Yes. I'm like, this is already way too difficult in itself. Okay. Okay. Well,
Just
we hope you guys enjoyed that.
Oh, you're done.
Oh.
She's done.
No.
She doesn't have any more to add. All right. We're going to move on to our topic of the day.
Wait. Okay. I'll give you one more. I'll
Okay.
give you one more.
Hit us with it.
Okay. We listen and we don't judge. I can't do Bath and Body Works candles and scents and all the things.
I think that's
Okay.
totally valid.
It's like I want to love them, like when fall comes around and Christmas comes around, but like I swear I will walk in a place that has that, like a lot of it or something, and I'm like, feel like I'm dying.
Okay. We listen and we don't judge.
The fragrances are
Yes.
bad.
I feel like I love something that I'll always love is like the Capri Blue volcano candles.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh man. Okay.
Wait, you can't do it anymore?
Y'all. No. I have to have that.
Okay. Yes.
I would agree with that.
if it's too much, I'm talking like,
I would say if you're used to it, because like I grew up with it.
Yeah.
My mom's still like, she'll have the Bath and Body Works,
Yeah.
candles and soaps and all that stuff. So I think if you're around it a lot, but the moment that you're not, and then you go back into it or you smell it
it's
again.
like immediate headache.
Yeah.
For me.
It's like an overstimulation thing for me.
Yeah.
In my mind. But I will say, that I went through this period of time in my life, which I can't keep it in the house anymore because it was such a problem.
I already know what you're going to say.
So if you guys are familiar with the Downy beads for the laundry, like I would just be in the kitchen and I'd need to go get a whiff. Like it would cross my mind and it was like such an intense craving where I was like, I have to smell it.
It's like a drug.
I have to. It was almost like I can't keep going without just giving it a sniff, you know? Just a quick little, I had to have it. Quick. Yeah, it was, and I went through this phase with the lemon Lysol spray too, where like I had to, I would just go to clean the counters just to smell it. But I don't keep the Downy beads in my house. Like everything is unscented with the laundry. It drives Logan nuts. But
oh, he doesn't like unscented.
I have a problem. And
ours is unscented too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we hope you guys enjoyed this.
We hope this is a little insight into our life.
That was
for 30 minutes. Basically.
That was like a very big merry-go-round that we just went on.
Yeah.
We're getting off.
Sorry.
And we're going to get to the topic now.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about burnout. Whew. And Lord knows we've all done it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
if you're human, you've been through burnout.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
Yes, absolutely. I think that it's easy to go through burnout, whether it's in ministry or whether it's just in day-to-day life. We have done both. And I think we should talk about how to combat burnout.
Okay. Do you want to talk about first, like what you would consider burnout?
I think for me, something that I always loved, back when we like were in our earlier years of ministry, like someone told me, like, if you don't feel like the wind of God at your back, like wind of heaven at your back, easy. It's fun. You're having a good time. Like the moment that you don't feel those things anymore and it becomes a chore or it becomes, just you don't feel as much joy doing it anymore, that you're probably like kind of entering a phase of burnout. So for me, like that's kind of what burnout is a little bit. Like at least personally, I'll check myself and be like, am I feeling these things? And okay, I'm probably experiencing some type of burnout.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say like I can feel it when like things that I typically enjoy.
Yeah.
I kind of start to not look forward to.
Right.
So that's one. I would say like motivationally. Relationally, I become like pretty irritable.
Really?
Yeah. Like little things can really trigger like a irritable like default for me. And I just like, I lose interest. And I feel like that's something that I've had to learn to like really pay attention to, because once I like fall into that, and then it's almost like it's really hard to like pull it back. So really just trying to like, which I think even with like marathon training and stuff, that almost became.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was really
hard. It was really easy to burn out with that.
Yeah. So it's just like being in tune with like my motivation, my interest in certain things, and then like how I'm operating in my relationships. I feel like I can tell. Yeah.
I think irritability, that's a big point. I feel like I will become super irritable as well if I'm burnt out doing something.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's also really hard because when you have kids and you are burnt out, I feel like it's just a little bit more difficult in the sense of trying to get out of that, because you necessarily don't have the extra energy to be able to do that. Like, for me, like right now, and by the way, like my kids are really young too. So I'm in that young kid season, which is a lot more, not a lot more difficult, but like they can't do things on their own,
It requires a lot more patience.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's a lot of just, even though it's difficult, taking time to just step away for even just a couple hours, if that's all that I can get. And just like, of course, praying and journaling, but let's be honest, it doesn't always feel much better after that.
No, yeah.
Like, and I think that's a lot of people think that it might. I think there are situations where when you can pray and journal through, you might feel some relief afterwards when it comes to like your burnout situation. But I think for me, it's a lot of just also sitting down and practically evaluating what's causing it as well.
Which sometimes can be hard to find the root of it.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if you're like, for ministry, for example, or whatever, like there's just so many like moving pieces. And being able to kind of like pin down exactly what it is. Yeah, for sure. Do you have practical things that you do when you burn out?
Yeah, I think setting boundaries with certain things. Like, okay, for example, I've honestly just been feeling this like towards the end of the marathon training, even into like coming off of that. And even just talking to Logan the last few days when it comes to like almost energy management. And like even last night he was like, let's just like be off our phones. And so I spent like literally like over an hour just coloring, which is something that I'm trying to like implement for, which I'll be honest, like I would even say like social media over the last like few months has not been something that I do because it's like I'm enjoying just being empty. Like it's almost like I'm, to be honest, like it feels like at least now I'm like trying to like,
you have to keep up.
Yeah. I'm like keeping up with, it's almost like because I enjoy what I'm doing with it and I like love it and never take it for granted. But I will say like with boundaries with that is so important because if not, like it's just this constant, it's on and it's like at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And so it can be really like energy consuming, mind consuming, like, so I literally left my phone in my closet for like almost 2 hours last night and was like, I can't even have it.
I think it's a great point. I think social media burnout is probably like, it's a thing in itself, like on its own. I think that, like even for me, just the time, this is like a little side note, side segment, like social media and burnout is real. I think that, for me, like Abby has a couple like brand partnerships and things. And so I can imagine how that would be like having just to keep up with that.
It's like almost like a little bit of a job.
Yeah. And then you're like, you don't get the privilege of being like, I don't feel like posting today. Like, you know, or
which
whatever.
I've even like talked about this with some of my friends too, where it's like almost, especially like after the marathon, because a majority of what I was posting had to do with like my physical therapy or training or running or whatever. Yeah. And even when I first started like doing that and posting and stuff, it was very like, oh, well, it's just because of your marathon. Like that's all people care to see. And so I think like after the marathon was over, I had this like, almost like, okay, now no one's going to care. Like it's all just going to like, which honestly is like, that's whatever ends up happening is like, that's God. Right. So like, it's really not anything that like I can obviously put in the work, but it's not something that like I can dictate and control. And so if it's like not meant to be in my life, then I know like it's not going to be. And so I've even had to like kind of like take the pressure off in that way. But I think like it can be hard when you're right. Like when you have this momentum or you feel like people are expecting something and then you kind of just keep up with that. It's like, okay, I don't even know some of the people that I love to follow. Like I don't even really know what's going on. Yeah. So it's almost like that isn't even something that like is an escape for me to like take a break. And that's even something I've had to work through in therapy where it's like, okay, because I tend to be like an escapist in my mind when I'm like experiencing stress or burnout or whatever.
Me too.
And so even if that looks different. And so like, I remember I was in therapy and this is my old therapist, but she was like, you know, what are you doing to combat this like feeling that you're experiencing? And I'm like, why? I can be like a doom scroller. Okay. At this time, it was a few years ago. Yeah. And I was like, but I've started reading. And she's like, okay, that's great. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've read like 4 or 5 books in like, 2 weeks. And she's like, okay, you also need to be careful with like, it's almost like taking that and putting it towards something else that's like refusing to confront what's going on, like the deeper stuff.
I see. Yeah.
So I wasn't scrolling. I was off social media, but I was like chronically reading, which reading is great, but it's like, where's this balance of, hey, we're going to confront what's going on deeper, get to the root of that, or are we just like distracting ourselves? You know? Yeah. And I think people can do that in a lot of ways. People can do that with social media. They can do that with their job. They can do that with their children. They can do that with like so many things. So I think it's just kind of addressing the root and creating healthy boundaries over like what could be causing that. Yeah.
I think like for me, I mean, I'm not, I just do it for fun right now. But obviously a lot of people, I mean, it's crazy because I think that I saw this one mom post something about how like she woke up and like had this video go like so viral, like a couple million views. And she's like, 1 minute I'm just like, you know, doing XYZ. And the next minute I've got like major brands, reaching out to me and stuff. And the reason why a lot of people do that or like, is because that money can be so life-changing for paying off debt or like, like buying a house or like doing that. And so I think that for me, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm to the point of burnout is what I'm going to say is, like even the time it takes to edit a video is like ridiculous. Yeah. It takes so much time.
Yeah. I think like when I was doing them, well, the running videos anyways, like I would have up to 30 minutes of footage just from a run. Ugh. And then you're having to go through every single like clip. Yes. And then I'm like so particular too, which is maybe a part of the downfall, but it does. I mean, and that's one video, which I'm rarely putting out more than one. Yeah. And I'll do Instagram, but like I'm primarily just like focused on like the TikTok videos. Yeah. And so it is very time consuming. And like, you're right. Like the mental capacity it takes to like not only post the video, but then like.
And then I feel like guilty because I'm like, for me personally, like I'm not making money off this. So it's like, why am I spending so much time on it? And it's like, well, obviously some people like me maybe do it in hopes of being able to make money off of it one day. So it's like in your head, you want to like put energy towards this and then I feel guilty and then I feel burnt out and then it's a little cycle, you know what I mean? And it's not like this all the time, but there are like, you know, certain times where, you know, where it's like that, but social media burnout in itself is a real thing as well, is to the point. And even just getting caught up like in, I guess, kind of like the escapism, like you were saying, just like another world. Yeah.
And it goes for both. Like, obviously we both create stuff and put it out there. And that's what I have to come back to. Right. So like if there's times where I'm feeling like disengaged or like not about it, I like step back and I'm like, okay, just the ability to be able to do this is amazing. And it's such a blessing. And then also like the community aspect of it has like I've always thought, okay, if this just like stops today, then I'm grateful for the time that like, even, I mean, we never know what can even happen with TikTok. And we've talked about this before. Yeah. Like it could just go away. And if that's the case, like the thing that, and I've even tried to like encourage you with too, is did you enjoy it while it was here? And like at the end of the day, I think I've had to ask myself a lot, like, do you enjoy this? And it's always like, yes, like I enjoy recording it, creating community. Like I thoroughly, like, I love that. And it's almost more so on the personal aspect of like, okay, what does my energy management look like when it comes to like having this part of my life? Yeah. So like for you, even too, with a lot of that I've even encouraged you, where it's like just the root of it. If you're enjoying it, then like keep doing it. Yeah. But if it's becoming this like pain point where it's like causing more, than it is, oh my gosh, like, I love this, then obviously that's like where you have to create these like boundaries within yourself. But you're right. It can cause a lot of just like unsettled feelings.
Yeah. And I think that in terms of burnout itself, I mean, I think that with social media, again, we go into this escapism and kind of suppress our burnout, I guess. And we have to be careful not to do that, because then we're like, why are we feeling this way? What are the external factors of why we're feeling this way?
Right.
And so I think in terms of practical ways, not just social media, but like that was just kind of like our sideway segment. In terms of just day-to-day life, whether you're feeling like burnout in your job or like burnout in, gosh, so many things, even like parenting, like there's so much burnout in parenting, and because you're doing the same thing, or like, I think that's part of it too, is for some people who don't enjoy repetitiveness or like the same thing over and over. Parenting can definitely feel like that, and you can feel burnout like that. And also with like maybe your job, you know, and I think for me, like the biggest thing is just remaining grateful. I think that's one of the biggest combats that you can do with burnout.
I agree.
Because then if you are just stopping and you're saying like, hey, like, God, thank you for this job. Thank you that it's paying my bills. Thank you that it's putting food on my table. And thank you that it's, you know, putting a roof over my head. Like coming back to those things. And then I would argue that getting outside, I know that sounds so funny, but there are days where like, because I stay at home with our youngest, and there are days where like I've been inside way too long and I'm like feeling that burnt out feeling. And then I'll go outside and like let Sutton like play in the sun or the yard or whatever, and then or go on a walk, and then I'll feel like way better.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yes.
So I think that's a real thing too. Noticing that burnout is so much mental. It's also so much physical.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Well, and I think you also too have to look at like the evolution of like humanity, right? Like we were not like adapted to be in front of screens and like on our phones to function like optimally, right? Like I get alerts on my Ring to my phone, and it's like phase delay window, time to limit blue light. Yeah. And it's like, it's telling me, hey, like the blue light is not good for your sleep, for winding down, for your stress management, all of that.
Right.
And like Americans, and even, I mean, people in general, are so chronically overexposed to these like screens and then this insight into worlds that are so minuscule in comparison to like what is normal. Yeah. And if not careful, like you can fall into like so many different traps with that. But I think you're right. I think the gratitude aspect of combating burnout is critical. Knowing when it's time to like set boundaries in place, getting to the root of what it is. But all of those I think are really solid ways that you're able to like burn out. So like or combat burnout. Yeah. So if someone comes to you and they're like, Taylor, I'm really experiencing burnout, like what would you recommend I do? Like where do I start? Like what would you say?
I think what I do is I try to stop and pray. Again, I am a realist. Like I'm not telling you that praying about it is going to make you physically automatically feel better. It's not going to make you like, you know, physically automatically feel better. But I think that one, you're calling in to alignment, like your mental space, and you're like praying and saying, hey, like, God, thank you for everything that I have, implementing that gratefulness. That's like the first thing. I just pray and say like, God, thank you for XYZ. And then 2, I tell myself, because this is true, like mostly everything's a season. So it's like, you're not going to feel this way forever. You might feel this way right now. You're not going to feel this way forever. And just reminding yourself that, because there are so many times where I've looked back and I'm like, if I would have just tried to be a little bit more grateful for a little bit longer, you know, like it didn't last that long, like retrospect on the outside. So I think that that's like the second thing I would do. And then third thing for me is, what are the practical ways, like, I guess asking yourself, is there anything about your situation that you can change? Because sometimes when it's a job or XYZ, those things aren't like, can't just quit your job, you know? But if it's other things, like maybe it's a relationship, a friendship, is there a conversation that can be had with somebody to clarify? Is there a, a boundary that needs to be drawn, like you said? So I think those are some practical ways. Those are the 3 things that I would do.
Yeah. I would agree. I feel like,
is there anything you would add to that?
I think you were kind of spot on in terms of like what can be changed, but then also like what can you implement? Like, say you know that you enjoy something. So like whether that's baking or journaling or walks or whatever it is, how can am I implementing that and I'm still experiencing this? And if the answer is no, maybe re-implement something that you enjoy or maybe pursue a hobby or something that could be almost like life-giving to you.
Yeah.
Outside of whatever this mundane routine is that you have going. It's almost like switching things up a little bit.
And that, like, to our point earlier, that is like video editing and creating and stuff like that. I think that's why I do enjoy it. I think in terms of like burnout for me is maybe if something else in my life is feeling burnt out, like for me, I'm a very creative person. And if I do not do something creative, like if I don't have a creative outlet, I start feeling really down and burnt out. Yes. So I think even stuff like maybe you like making TikToks, maybe you like editing stuff, maybe you like making graphics, like whatever it is, even if it's not creative, maybe it's reading or whatever. If you can find that outlet as well, then like that's one of what that is for me. Like that's an outlet.
Which is so crazy because I was kind of feeling like this at the end of 2023. And I went into 2024 and this year I turned 30. And I remember I told Logan, like, I really want to purchase a film camera. So I got one of those like Canon AE1, like old cameras. And I remember like setting in, cause I won't typically do like a goal or whatever. I'll do resolution. I do like intentions, right? So like, what's my intention for the year? And one of them was just like, find that creative outlet. Like, I've always been good at my job. I've been good in school. Like I'm a sister, I'm a friend. Like it's almost been this like reoccurring thing, but it's like, okay, what's like for you? And I think like going into 2024, there was this big question mark. Like I've always ran, but I like, what have been my goals with that? And then like creative, I've never had this creative, like ever. I've never been a creative person. It's really hard for me to like think creatively, like, okay, Taylor even came in my office today and I put lights up and I'm like, do they look okay? Like it's really hard for me to have like this vision to come to life. Now I feel like with clothes and stuff, I do love that, but just like with a contribution almost. And after 2024 ended, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just started posting these videos and it's like this creative outlet for me that became really fun. And so for you, it's like, okay, find whatever that is that could be a creative outlet or that you can actually like use that part of your brain.
Yes.
That might be dormant right now. Might be dormant right now and just see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too.
And coloring is actually really fun.
Hey, coloring is so fun. I love painting right now.
Okay. Yes.
I was coloring for a while and then I started doing watercoloring and then also acrylic painting. I actually prefer acrylic painting a lot more. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just
fun. I feel like I need like the lines to guide me.
Like I like the free, I'll pull up videos on YouTube and just watch them do it. And, and then I'll just watch them do it.
Yeah.
I'll watch them do it and then I'll just do it myself and we'll try attempt. And so that's a good outlet that I've really enjoyed lately. But yeah, so I think just like asking yourself, like, what are some outlets that you can, use? If you're not like, if you don't find yourself being a super creative person or that's not something you enjoy, I think you could also like, just a hobby, any kind of hobby, like whatever it is for you. But you've got to have those other things in your life. If you don't have the other things, and I remember like actually way early on in ministry, a seasoned pastor was like telling us that, like, he's like, you got to have your thing. Cause like ministry is like all consuming and it's not like you don't just go clock in and clock out. Like it's not that kind of job.
It's true.
When someone passes away or someone's sick, you have to go to the hospital. You have to be the funeral. You have to do, like just so many different things. I think that, and And in terms of ministry, like a side point is just like you're constantly building something. And like our pastor, he mentioned at a team night like last month or something, like he was like, we have to remember like ministry is not an end goal situation. And I think for my personality type, that's like really hard because I'm like, okay, I need to like climb the ladder, check the box, like, you know, and ministry is not that way. And so when you can like, you have this job or something where you can like climb a ladder and get to that point, you feel that relief and accomplishment. When you're in something like ministry, it's like this long-term, like we're all working towards this goal. But the goal is like ultimately heaven.
Yeah.
And not just that, but like, yes, you see people come to like know Jesus and that's like the main thing. But you're doing that again and again and again. And when you're doing that, it's like, I guess I'm rabbit trailing. My point is whenever you don't have something that is like an end goal, whenever it's something that's ongoing, like ministry is, it's ongoing constantly, that provides more opportunities for burnout.
Yeah.
I feel like
I've had this conversation with Logan because I think like to your point, it's not clock in and out. It's a very continual thing.
Yes.
And so if not careful, like you can take it home.
Oh,
and
all
it's
the time.
like, oh, so-and-so is, you know, this, or I experienced this, or, you know, so-and-so opened up to me about this, or there's just so much weight to just the work that you do. And I would say like, I've told Logan, I'm like, hey, like you need to find this thing for you that is separate from your job, separate from family, separate from me, that can be your focus. Because if it stays this way, like the last thing that you want also too, and for anything that anyone feels passionate about is for you to lose that passion for it. And I think you just really have to like.
And that's what that pastor had said to me years ago was to Drew and I is like, find a hobby, find a hobby.
Yeah.
Find something like you were saying, like telling Logan, like find something else. Cause like I think we need variety. And when we don't have that, it ain't good.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to switch it up either. Like in like closing remarks. Just like know that we're all like always changing. And so even if you've never planted a garden or you've never painted or you've never, you know, gone for a run or gone to the gym, like we're never too far from like shaking things up. And there's things I'm sure that you can agree. Like if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be doing these things, I would have laughed like, no way. And so I think like just never set yourself up to not try anything new or that you're like not capable, because I think like where your mind is set to do something, I think you can accomplish it. So just like be open to like changing things or being open to new things. I think I hope Bailey doesn't mind that I say this, but she came to me the other day and she's like, I'm going to start taking ballet classes. And
we talked about this because I wanted to do it with her.
Okay. So she's like doing something that like she's never done.
Yes.
And I just think it's so cool. And I'm like so proud of her, because if you would have told me a year ago that like Bailey was going to go try to do ballet, I would have been like, no way. But now that she's doing it, I'm like, that's going to be so good for you to like challenge yourself and like meet new people and just like, so just never be opposed to being open to just trying something new.
Yeah, totally agree.
So
I love that.
We hope this helped a little bit if anyone's experiencing burnout or has in the past.
Yeah.
If you guys have any tips for like how you combat burnout, share it with the class. And then also too, like we also get like DMs quite a bit.
Yeah.
So people like wanting more information about things that we've talked about or having specific questions. So if that is you, like please feel free to do that.
Yeah.
And
always. You
can either message us directly on Their Better Half or personally. So we love you guys.
Love you guys.
We'll see you next
time.
Have
a best week.